Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you guys how to build a hay feeder for your rabbit cage. This is something you're going to want to hang on the outside, and it's going to be easy for you to fill without having to open the cage constantly. Something you want to check and feed and fill up, daily, and that's just to supplement their feed. If you just feed them pellets, they're gonna eat a lot of pellets, and it costs a lot of money, whereas hay is very cheap. And you can also feed them grass and weeds and clover and stuff like that. They'll eat that up plenty. But we're going to go ahead and get started on this, and what we're going to be doing here is going to be using some wire. Now you can use any type of wire you want. I like to use typical rabbit wire. This is a 1/2 inch by 1 inch. You can use a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Pretty much this is the biggest I would go. Otherwise the hay will just fall out. Now some people will build these and then they'll also line them with cardboard on the inside so no hay drops out, which is a very good idea. The only problem with that here is that it gets really humid, and the cardboard will eventually start rotting away. I like to use this because we have plenty of it on hand, and it's very sturdy and strong, whereas the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch is kind of flimsy, and if you bend it too hard it'll break, whereas this will almost never break. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so you're going to want to get a flat surface to lay this out on, and this stuff is pretty good because it doesn't spool up too hard, and once you bend it, it'll kind of stay flat. Now what you need here is something to cut it with. I like using just little bolt cutters. These work out pretty well. You can use shears if they're strong enough, or tin snips if the gauge isn't too thick. This is kind of thick, so I just like to use this. Now you can also use a right angle grinder. That makes for fast work, but you also have to do it somewhere where it's not on like plastic surface or wood, or otherwise you're going to cut that up. And then if you do it on the ground, you're gonna dull your blade out. So what I'm doing here is I'm making 2 of these, because I got 2 cages over here for my grow outs. We like to bring our grow outs around 2 months, put them on their own for a month, and then go out on pasture. I like them to get a little bigger before I put them on pasture. So I'm gonna make mine about 8 inches tall, somewhere around there. So I'm kind of gonna guesstimate right around here, and then I'm just gonna start cutting this. This is very tedious work, and wear gloves if you don't want to cut yourself, because you'll more than likely cut yourself on this stuff. It's pretty sharp, especially the thinner gauge stuff, like 1/2 inch hardware cloth or smaller. That stuff is extremely sharp. So mine's going to be about that tall. And I'm going to make a couple big ones. I'm going to go about halfway on this, and I'm making it a little bit wider because I have more rabbits in here, as opposed to making a smaller one that's just meant for 1 rabbit. So we're going to kind of cut this in half. And just for the video, I'm only going to make 1. I'll make the other one afterwards. Now that we have our piece, about yay big, it could be bigger or smaller. There's no real right or wrong answer here. So what we're going to do is kind of bend it a little bit, and we're going to find the center of this and kind of just bend it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but into like a half circle almost. Something like that. Only want this to be about really 6 inches above. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple cuts here, right around there. Doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but what this is going to do is make it a bending point to where you can bend it in for the bottom. And we'll do about the same on both sides. What we'll do now is kind of flatten it back out a little bit, and then take these and bend them in. Like that. So that's pretty much how it's going to go. It's going to slide onto the side like that. Now what we have to do is cut a couple of these to make some hooks. And it's very simple. You just kind of cut the top piece right here, like that. Pop it off, and then you have a hook to hang it on. Same with the other side. On the bottom, we'll be able to do the same as well when we go to install it. And you can cut more hooks in here if you want to make a bunch of hooks to hang on the cage a little more secure. We might do that. Let's go ahead and move over here and try to install this and see if it works. I still got my tool with me. What we're going to do is we're going to put it right about here. We want them to reach up to it. We don't want them to be able to grab. We don't want it way down here. You want it kind of up a little bit higher. Almost at the top really would be the best. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna lay it. You want them to reach up for this, otherwise they're just gonna grab it all out as fast as they can. So we'll set these two little hooks we made in the top. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. So now what we'll do is we'll make some hooks for the bottom. And you kind of want to get an idea of where this is going to be at before you do that. You don't want to just go ahead and start cutting. So what we'll do is we'll cut down here. And where I'm cutting at is just right here, just to make a hook. And then we can bend that out like that. Those are my little hooks to hang on the cage. And if you want, you can always get extra wire and clean this up so you're not cutting yourself on these little points here. And you can do all kinds of stuff to make this better. But this is and you see that I already cut myself. It's very simple to cut yourself on this stuff. So just be wary of that. It's going to happen if you don't protect yourself with long sleeves and things of that nature. All right. So now that I have those hooks on there, I'm going to open up the cage. I'm going to reach in here. I'm going to grab this hook and I'm going to wrap it around. The other one's a little bit harder, so I'm going to have to do it with my fingers to the cage. So I'll just reach it around like this and just kind of snuggle it up in there so it's wrapped around. And the same with these top hooks. You can just take them, you can just take your finger and push down really hard right here and it'll wrap around, and then it ain't going nowhere. This thing's on here for life now. So like I said, be careful with this stuff because it is very sharp. Alright, so I want to show you guys this. I can pick up the entire cage by picking this up. So that's how secure that is. We're just making a couple cuts. And that's a pretty good hay feeder. So we'll just get a bunch of hay and go ahead and just stuff it down in here. And the rabbits, they've been used to eating hay, so you know this is not new to them, and they like this stuff, so it'll be pretty easy to go. I'm gonna go ahead and make the second one off camera, just so I can see if we can get some footage of the rabbits eating from these hay feeders. Alright, well, hey, if you guys like watching these videos, hit that like button. Really helps the channel out. Subscribe if you want to see more rabbit videos and chicken videos. We do a lot of rabbits and chickens here. That's what our farm does. And leave a comment. You know, if you have a better way to make this, or you can find a good deal on one that's pre-made already, you know, I'd like to see it. Thanks for watching.